Dr. Ritika will be speaking on how do I develop systems for marketing and promotional activities. Audio visual, please. Slides.
Very good morning to all of you. As the slides come on, I'll just be talking about sales and marketing functioning at Center for Sight. And some of these obviously come from a perspective of my decade-long experience here. Uh, we are
Welcome, ma'am. We'd like to welcome Dr. Sushmita Kaushik.
okay. I think it's not moving on my screen. A lot of my the talk will have some perspective. It's not really factual, it's more experiential. So that is a disclaimer I have at the onset. Uh, Starting with sales and marketing, I think the presentation runs on two core beliefs that I carry. One is that sales and marketing are integral functions of any business, and we are all in the business of ophthalmology. Sales and marketing are often looked at with negative connotations. However, they are an important part of your business and they have to be done right. Every doctor has been marketing himself. The fact that you are presenting in conferences, you are speaking well to the patient, you are creating a goodwill in the patient is all a form of marketing. Even the fact that an AIOS election is a personal brand marketing. So this is all done, has been done in various ways. It has become a larger scale and more systematic approach. And it's time that we accept that and use it to leverage our strengths in the business. Marketing succeeds when marketing, sales, and operations, all three talk together. Marketing is basically creating a perception in the mind of the prospective customer about you. What do they think about you? For example, I may never have visited Arvind Eye Hospital but, as a patient, but I carry a brand that this is what Arvind means to me. So you create an in the entire external environment, a perception or feeling about yourself. And that is the brand that you carry. It may be on a national level, a local level, but there is this external feeling that is the marketing. If the marketing is positive, it really helps the sales. What does the sales do? If somebody has a positive perception about your brand, the job of the sales team is to convert that prospective customer into a real customer and make him walk into your door. But whatever expectation you have built in the mind of the patient, if your brand is not authentic and your operations doesn't carry the same values that you are communicating in marketing and sales, you are doing a disservice to yourself and the patient because your journey will collapse. So talk the same language and know who you are and be authentic. So this is really the journey when you market of brand discovery. When you are aware of who you are and authentically know how to communicate it to the patient, then you are creating a brand. You have to, after the discovery, create content which is in line with the brand personality that you have, and then find the channel. For example, if I've created content, I have to make it reach to the end customer through newspaper, through radio, through talk shows, or whatever media you feel works in your local geography. So, as a brand discovery, this is just to make you understand. We also want to know how people feel you. It's not about what you're saying about yourself, it's what people are feeling who you are. So market surveys are actually, small market surveys are a very useful thing. They tell you about your brand awareness, your brand perception, and an idea about market share. So these are typical brands. Let me just break it down in the context of ophthalmology. Now, I think the biggest brand in ophthalmology was Vasan Eye Care, one of the biggest national brands. And how they positioned themselves was the regular guy. I am your everyday hero. Aam Aadmi brand. Come to me for anything, small, big. Try and reach me first because I am available and easily accessible. So if you look at the figures, 33% of their revenue came simply from selling spectacles. So people were not afraid of going to Vasan. It was the Aam Aadmi brand. So it was the regular guy brand. Our surgical conversion is very high. Our footprint in terms of OPD may be low, but people come to us with a very high intent of getting operated. And when we did our market survey, we realized people think that we are the last word in eye care. From eye cancer to complex eye diseases, go to center for sight. पर खुजली पानी के लिए वहाँ मत जाओ, वेट करना पड़ सकता है या अपॉइंटमेंट मुश्किल से मिलती है, और दे हैव स्टार डॉक्टर्स. So our brand positioning was hero. That, complex eye diseases, we were not the most affordable. We never positioned ourselves as the most affordable, but we positioned ourselves as the last word in eye care. For example, if you meet Dr. Santosh at Banjara Hills, you're basically being referred from across the country. Or if you meet Dr. Mahipal at Delhi. So our brand positioning was largely the hero. I would say Narayan Netralaya has developed its unique proposition as explorer and creator. Arvind Eye Hospital has a brand positioning as the sage because they are on a mission. So it's a very mission-driven organization. So these are personalities that make you stand out. Today, Modi is a distinct personality. So once you develop a brand personality and a brand tone, it's easier to stand out, and you also develop a system in your marketing so that your communication is consistent. Otherwise, you give mixed signals, and if you can't really tell people who you are, they will never know how to feel about you. So once that is done, you will have a brand tonality. For example, our hero positioning kind of forced us to be very formal. And like we were mentioning in the previous session, Rahil had a very good LASIK positioning, where he has created a great positioning for LASIK by creating YouTube videos, which are more speaking to the younger generation. So we realized that our super specialty position is taking away from our refractive business. So we are now in the process of creating a sub-brand called Planet LASIK, where instead of the hero positioning, we're going to take the magician positioning, which is transform your life. And we are going to have a more casual kind of a conversation because you're targeting a different audience. It is younger versus the cataract audience, which is older. And of course, like I said, brand behavior. If you want to take a hero positioning, you have to ensure that you have the right doctors, the right technology. So we built, if you see my first slide, these were the 3 values that we told our staff. These are our 3 values: talent, trust, and technology. We will have top talent, we will have top technology, and we will always do what's right for the patient. So we don't here talk about being affordable. We are affordable, but we are not that's not our USP, that we are the lowest cost. So talent, trust, and technology were the 3 value systems. And please note that talent was a word used so that it encompasses not just the doctors, but the entire staff. Because brand behavior does not come just from the doctors, it comes from the guard at the front gate to the last, the doctor interaction. So hence, technology, not equipment, technology, right from your appointment and call center to the machine that you operate the patient with. And trust, because you cannot maintain a hero positioning by taking short-term decisions. And trust is only earned when you build to last. So then again, coming to the content. Content, please note that there has to be a consistency in the content. Use a primary color or the logo colors, don't change them. We have secondary colors, and I always keep telling my creative team, please use a new creative. I'm bored of seeing this. They keep telling me, you don't have a budget like Airtel and Vodafone. You may be bored of seeing it, but it has yet to get enough eyeballs for it to have brand recall. So you actually sometimes don't need to change your creatives for a year. In fact, digital campaigns get optimized the longer they run, because you basically see how well the audience is responding to your creative, and that is how you work on. So we realize that a lot of people use Shutterstock images, and we also use Shutterstock images. So people were using ads to create similarity. So we did a simple photo shoots cost 25,000-30,000 rupees, but then your models are your own. So, and we had a white coat doctor. So especially on digital media, the content that was working well for us was direct, like an eye doctor examining a patient on a slit lamp, because people are viewing you 80% on a mobile phone, small size, right? So you have to have direct content. So we did our own photo shoot, because then it becomes our own intellectual property. So the recall is strong. You know that if you see this image, it has to belong to center for sight. We place our logo in a particular place, so the recall has to be stronger. And One thing that I have learned from another corporate organization, without naming, they have products. Like if you look at Samsung also, you have phones and products. Sometimes we look at the overall revenue of a center, especially if you have a refractive unit, break it down. Refractive revenue, retina revenue, cataract revenue, and focus on the product. If my cataract is doing very well and refractive is not doing well, I cannot increase the marketing for cataract and expect refractive to do better. So please have a separate kind of a product vertical, and that is a way forward in marketing, to have a product led approach. Now, what channel to use? You should know where your patients are, right? So if you're targeting an older generation, a newspaper may work. Facebook actually now has 40 plus people, and the younger people have moved to Instagram. So you may do cataract conversations on Facebook and LASIK conversation on Instagram. So know where your audience is, and that's where you meet them, right? So this is how and whatever you're doing, you have to measure the ROI. So capture the source and measure the ROI. Ask your front office to get a patient to fill a form that how did he get to know about you. Ask your call center also. And you can, if you have the ability to do market surveys, that is something you can do. Brand awareness and top of mind recall is something that you can measure by indirect indicators, like what is your website, what is your new patient footfall. The future really, with all these NMC coming in, is to really mine your own data and develop a CRM, because you cannot be dependent on Facebook always for giving you data. These are short-term strategies. You have to have a robust system of CRM. These are tools that are available for a few thousand. Capture your patient data. We have the luxury that a patient will always give us authentic phone number, right? So through that phone number, nurture the lead. And of course, we have simple things like capturing source. Example, if a sales team has met XYZ doctor and said that, partner with us, you're a diabetic, we'll send you our diabetes, you send us your eye. We give the doctor a QR code. So he can just scan the QR code, enter the patient detail, and when the patient comes, we send thank you for the referral, this is the eye report of the patient, so that you have a conversation. And it can be tech enabled without a significant cost, because today even a grocer or a chai stall knows how to read a QR code. Like I said, we were all looking at a digital first. Yes, maybe we get off social media, but then we'll have to develop systems of our own. A website will always be a very important pivot. Social media, people are spending 280 minutes a day, and you have to be on social media. Social posts are for engagement, but you also have lead generation there, wherein you may do Facebook ads. For example, inviting for a cataract checkup. This is where vernacular works very well, because these can be localized to a small area. And the spend can be less if you target it better. But now Facebook is making targeting illegal. For example, if somebody, you don't have interests, but slowly it will become more difficult. So what you can do, of course, is like-to-like marketing or CRM, because if somebody is your patient, his ecosystem, family and friends are more likely to be in the same circle and to visit you. So that is where this CRM will become more important. I'll just skip this for lack of. Whenever you spend money on digital, the great thing is you can always calculate your returns on Google AdWords, on Facebook Manager. So, and if you're planning a campaign for a few lakhs, always do a beta testing. For example, if we're doing a LASIK campaign, we did not want to offer a free LASIK workup because we felt free is going to get us low qualified leads. But we started getting less leads with a LASIK workup for 500 only versus a free LASIK workup. And we started getting less leads, more expensive leads, so it was counterintuitive. So we changed it back. On World Sight Day, if, for example, if you want to do a digital camp, invite people in-house, free OPD. People can start trolling you or anything. So what, instead of a digital free OPD, we gave it a social twist, that we have 20 free slots of OPD every day, right? For anybody in need, please visit us using this slot. So what did that do to the free OPD? Or you can make 20 to 100 also. I'm just giving a figurative figure. It gave the free OPD a social angle. People liked the post. Once you like, other people see it. So it is the same content. And free OPD was not in line with our hero theme. because hero is not going to invite people. So it did not resonate with our brand. So we created that, yes, sometimes we run out of OPT slots, so 20 are dedicated for you. So this, you have to eventually curate the content, and it makes a lot of difference. It's the same offer. Come visit us, we will waive off your OPD charges. So that really made a difference. Like I said, next gen is to manage your leads using WhatsApp, SMS, email marketing, call center. Sales, it never happens sometimes in a single touch point. It requires multiple touch points. Certain studies of selling a product, this is not healthcare, say that you need an average of 15 to 21 meetings to make a sale. So you cannot expect a single meeting. A LASIK decision sometimes takes 1 year. So multiple touch points, be it a camp that you've done, followed up with a WhatsApp, followed up with an emailer. This is basically lead nurturing. So don't just dip your feet and get a lead, nurture the lead. Otherwise, it's just money wasted. You can create your funnel. Channel marketing is the oldest referral source, so as to say, be it optical stores, general and corporate business. Now, we as a corporate can never be very strong on referrals, because we need a transparent system and processes, which referral actually is sometimes very difficult for us to manage. So how do you get better? If you have this obstacle, so as to say, I keep telling my team, you have the advantage of a brand and the disadvantage of processes, which is not a disadvantage really, but for referral it is. So this was some case studies. For example, we do eye focus. The intent is very simple. We want a hero positioning in our community also, that we have great faculty, right? And if our community believes that, yes, we have top talent, then our hero positioning is reinforced. Tomorrow, that PG who has been taught at eye focus carries the CFS image, and he may start a cataract clinic, but not a LASIK or a retina setup. So we get a lot of prescriptions now refer to Center for Sight without a doctor name. So that is the brand positioning without the doctor positioning. I had a sales representative in a center, and he was an individual performer. He was never able to work with a team. It was a small center. I kept telling him that you don't have a team. How will you get enough patients? What he did was he worked on the Amway model. So he made ASHA workers and all the people, he did a small ceremony in their village. He gave them a token of respect and made them vision ambassadors. That you are in charge of this village and you have the power to send us patients. Whoever you send, we will do with a package of, say, this much discount, or we will see for free. So he created an Amway model of ambassadors, like an RWA president. See, retired people and women who are not actively engaged are community influencers. So you give them the responsibility of being a vision ambassador. So these are models that can be created using technology and systems. But then you create a leaderboard. For example, he took 50 ASHA workers and created a leaderboard that you have helped so many people with vision disability see. And so this kind of a thing costs no money as such, because sales is about relationship and conversions. Another thing is, like I said, we are not strong on referrals. One of our salesperson went to the optical stores and said, I'm not here to ask you for cataract, because I know you have associations with a lot of other people. Send me your squint. Send me your most complex retina case, which nobody is asking you for. But if anybody comes who's hassled and doesn't know where to go, send them to us. So he started sending us squints and retina cases who, had everybody has said, go to AIMS. There is no other place you can go. And once we treated them, we built trust. Then he started sending us his family members for cataract. So please don't think that money is the only source of relationship building. The best way to develop associations is to help the other person in finding a solution for his problem. So it's not always a monetary association. We started having meetings at our main center where we invited all the optometrists that we will teach you whatever doubts you have in refraction. We told them that we will see all your patients you can't refract properly. You send them to us, we will re-refract them and send them back to you. So that if it's a progressive or a child, you don't lose the patient. So part of the solution of building a relationship is to help him find a solution to his problem. Not go to him with your problem that, listen, Mr. XYZ, I need cataract from you. Here is my card and here is how we can associate. Sorry. So, just ending by saying that part of developing a system is to use technology as tools. It'll help you reduce manpower cost. These are certain things like you have softwares like tap miles, etc., where you can have the sales team conveyance automatically calculated, the places they can visit, they can take a photo and they can load it up. You can then develop a list of their clients and the list of their calls. So I'll just end with this. But thank you, and I hope you all enjoy sales and marketing and give it the respect that it deserves as a vertical.
Thank you so much for the wonderful talk. We had so much insights. In fact, recently my brother Shekhar Suman also called me and he said he is doing a promotional activity with Ritika
Yes,
for
we
her
have
eyes.
YouTube videos with him, sir, because my doctors can't be as engaging as Rahil. So I got Shekhar Suman to engage the.
I saw that. He was so happy to do that. Thank you so much. So now we would like to ask the expert panel. This is a leadership development program, and we have youngsters over here who are looking at a whole career in front of them. On one side, we have low volume, high numbers, still reaching the same financial figures. On one side, we have centers like private centers who are openly saying we are not a low cost center and who are still reaching the same numbers. What would your Sushmita ma'am? What would your advice be to the younger generation who are lost between should I be a low cost, high volume center or high cost, high technology center? वो माइक को आगे कीजिए फिर.
Yeah, sorry. So, my first advice to all the youngsters here is to be a first class ophthalmologist. That's the first
true.
thing, right? So, first, hone your skill and be true to what you set out to do. Branding, money, low cost, high cost is second step. So, the first thing is be a first class ophthalmologist. Answer the question as to mujhe nazar nahi aa raha. Answer that question to that problem, then think of what you're going to do about it. None of us can solve all the problems of Nazar Nahi Aa Raha ourselves. None of us, not even one. But we need to know what the problem is and then send him according to what he can afford, let me put it that way, to the best of his ability, which will be working best for him. So whether he's Shekhar Suman, who can go to a high volume, high demanding center, as long as you're sure that there is somebody there who is going to take care of him, or there is a poor bhaiya on the road who I know has nothing in his pocket, oh madam ke paas bhej do. So I have all the madam ke paas bhej dos. I have no problem with that. But the youngster should know what to do and what he is committed to. So like Ritika said, you have to make up your mind. I can't tell you be a hero. I can't tell you be a sage. I can't tell you be a jester. That is up to you. I have decided to be a teacher. So I have decided to बांटो ज्ञान. No matter what, मैडम बहुत सख्त है, मैडम से डांट पड़ती है, मैडम के सामने नोट्स बना के जाना नहीं तो पड़ेगी. That's my problem. Somebody else might say, यार पागल हूँ मैं. मतलब उसको करना नहीं. Why the hell should I waste my time doing it? Let me do my job and go. That is his problem. So my advice to the youngsters would be make up your mind as to what you really want to do, because ultimately you're going to do just that. You're not going to do things according to what Dr. Satyajit or Dr. Ritika has told you. And once you make up your mind to do that, be true to whatever you do, but whatever you do, be a first-class ophthalmologist first.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. Dr. Tasliwal, sir, what are your views on the primary question which I asked?
I absolutely echo the sentiments of what Dr. Sushmita said. Okay, first you have to become the best of the ophthalmologists, best of the human being also. You have to have the compassion to look into it. Being a leader, the first thing is you have to take people together, be inclusive of what you're doing. And in a way, spreading the word outside, brand building and all, what Ritika rightly said, okay, you have to help others also if you want to get a feedback. बोलते हैं ना जो boomerang जो रहता है, it comes back. So the more you do, more you are going to get back. This is my view in short.
Dr. Uni Krishnan.
Yeah, we have two sentiments. Madam said be the best ophthalmologist, sir said be the best human being. So what I'd like to add is ophthalmology practice, like life, is just uncertainty. You are dropped somewhere, you fall somewhere, you take a corrective course in the right time. What I'm trying to say is that not all of us have ended where we wanted to. So you say that I want to be a high cost, low volume practitioner, you might end up being just the opposite. It all depends on where you're practicing, what you've learned, what is your skill set, okay? But I would like to make this point. All of us start ambitions with, okay, I'm going to start this LASIK center, I aim to do 50 patients per day. This thing, that thing, I'll make huge amount of volumes and I'll be called for all the All India conferences, I'll become the president someday. Okay, fine. Somewhere down the line, if this doesn't work out, if you do not recognize this particular point, that is the fallacy. Not aiming to be the best or aiming to have low practice, high volume, low, whatever it is. Aravind didn't become Aravind because it was a certain set of circumstances and a leader who took it there, and it is maintaining. Each institute has a different, I call it genotype and phenotype. They plan to become something, they ended up as something. Okay, so all practitioners, all youngsters, they have an ambition, they go for it. It'll click in about 20%. The rest 80% will modify it along the way. So that's the whole point.
Dr. Ranbir?
I think being dynamic is the key, as you mentioned, that because as you plan, it might not never turn up that way, but you have to constantly evaluate your setup every year or every quarter and see where you're heading. So if you're getting high volumes, then you can actually become more affordable. If you're getting less volume, but you know that your patients are able to afford a little more, then you can increase your the kind of frills you give to your patient. You can be a little more exclusive and give them better service. So it is not that what you plan at day 0, but you have to keep planning in day 3, day 6, day 9, and constantly evolve throughout the journey.
Thank you. Ragini ma'am?
So basically, I feel that, see, we see 1 lakh patients a year. So I feel that, your patient will be your best brand ambassador. So 2 things what Sushmita madam said is that you have to give the best to your patient. You have to treat your patient like your own parent or your own child and all that. So the advantage of this is that the patient is very happy. So for me, a happy patient, whether the patient has conjunctivitis or the patient has a complicated cataract or it's an HIV patient, just laying a hand on an HIV patient and hugging the patient has ensured that every Saturday I have an HIV list itself. So you have to be very good to the patients as a very good ophthalmologist and do the best for the patient, keeping the patient in mind. Like I will do a SICS for a black cataract and not do a phaco because my results are very important. And a happy patient brings you more patients. That's how it works. So just keep the patient at the center of your universe and everything else falls into place.
Thank you, ma'am. Himanshu, sir?
Thanks. I think everybody gave a good advice. Let me say the topic here is leadership in today's time. It's not about scientific session. All of us have to be great ophthalmologists. That's done. After being a great ophthalmologist, how do you convey to the society what is happening and what you're supposed to be doing? So first of all, get that out of your mind that you're supposed to be doing everything free and that you don't need money. We all need money for survival. Let's accept it. Less money, more money. Everybody keeps screaming that a patient is not paying me, that kind of scenario. Marketing, the more 99% of ophthalmologists exactly think vice versa what the other said. Ritika will be laughing her way because she'll go to the bank finally. Because the less competition she has, the more easier it is. But let's accept it. There is no harm making money and there's no harm in marketing. Get it very clear in your mind. You are starting your practice. How will you? You're whistling at a beautiful girl with your eyes closed with the lights off. It's not going to work. So you have to accept it as a part of your life. It is there to stay. Corporatization is increasing. Competition is increasing. Ways and means of people are changing. We have to change with time. Understand a very strong point. Lot of wisdom of 10 years that she has spoken in just 10 minutes. So I guess the topic, the way it is, all being great doctors, all being teaching, all doing great work. After that, how do you prove your erstwhile to the world and to your own self for your confidence, for your survival, for your family?